Hey everybody, and welcome to Hardcore Heroes Arcadia. How are you guys doing today?
Doing
Good.
well.
Yes.
Excellent. How's last week been treating you? Any interesting news to report?
Yeah, well, I'm about to buy a house, which is pretty interesting. That's why
Ooh,
I was late getting
congrats.
Yeah.
here. Yep,
There's still houses left in UK.
there
I
is.
thought it was so
Yeah.
small. They ran out of space years ago.
I don't know, man. Even if you haven't got a job here, the government will give you a house, so it's pretty good.
That's how it was here up until a couple of years ago.
Yeah. Well, not
Spoilers, it
perfectly,
didn't turn out well.
It's been like that for years here,
Yeah.
like 50 years or something, probably more. But yeah, no, I was telling Neil, I've seen this house that I like, and I think it's cheap, but I'm not 100% certain. But I haven't got time to. If I take a week to think about it, it'll go. So I need to just make a decision. So I'm probably just going to go for it.
Yeah.
That's exciting. Where
Where
is
are
it?
you? Are you in Liverpool? Is
No,
that
Manchester. I live in now.
Manchester. Okay.
Same thing.
Not really. Not really at all.
Is the market pretty crazy there?
Yeah, it is. Especially like where the bit of Manchester I'm talking about, it's very like, I don't know,
Yeah.
gentrified is the word that
Yeah. Oh yeah.
we use around here. You know, it's like very trendy and that. So
Yeah.
a lot of people trying to buy houses there.
Yeah. Here in Seattle, it's nuts. I think it's calming down, but like, I don't know. A friend of ours was looking for a house, and it'd be like within like a day or two. Like sometimes they'd be like listed, but by the time they were listed, someone had already like snagged it up.
Dude, these
Well,
places
maybe
are
not
30 miles apart.
Yeah, I know, but it's two very, very different cities. Like you've got to be English to understand. I think.
It's
Fair
like
enough.
the difference between San Francisco and Oakland, Neil. They're
Okay, that's
30
fair.
miles apart,
That's,
but you can't be living in Oakland saying that you're.
that's
you're
true.
in
That's
this-
a valid point. I stand corrected. I was thinking more like Santa Barbara, Goleta, but
It's
Oakland,
probably
San
worse than
Francisco.
that, man. Like I don't know if you watch much soccer or football, as it's called, but Liverpool and Manchester are like the two biggest footballing cities in the UK, two of the most successful teams of all time. So in the whole world. So there's a massive rivalry, and people don't fuck about with football up here. Like that's serious business. So there's genuinely people in Liverpool that will just hate anyone from Manchester and the other way around.
So how do you live in Manchester being from Liverpool?
We just hang around in the nice areas.
Ah.
Fake your accent. and-
Chat can help me decide whether to buy this house or not. I'm posting that.
That was a horrible idea.
So I'll post it to YouTube first. There you go. Neil could show it on the stream, maybe.
I'm not going to show it on the stream. You can post it to them if you want. I'm not going to be responsible for you being stalked in life.
Oh, that's true. It's probably got the address on your eye. It does have the address.
Do you think
that-
people would actually do that?
No, you'd be fine.
Yeah, I think I'll be fine. I might post it in Discord later.
Dang, that's nice.
You think? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
900 square feet a house.
Dude,
probably
this
only
place
got.
is sweet.
All right, maybe I should buy it then. Neil said it was a good idea.
Oh, you got a backyard and everything, and a deck.
Yeah, big backyard. Yeah,
Oh fuck yeah, man.
that's like what, like $350,000? It's not that bad.
300,000.
Damn, exchange rate.
I know.
Is it really?
300,050 or 300,510.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. Back in the day, that used to be like almost $500,000.
Almost.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
All right.
that's what you've been up to, Ryan. What about you?
Can't even remember last week. It's a long time ago. Last night, I saw a play, Medea, the Greek tragedy. God, it's rough. I don't know if you know this. It's like the epilogue to Jason and the Argonauts. And the barbarian witch wife that he brings back with him gets crazy when he decides to get a second wife. And yeah, major revenge killing. Everyone dies. Princess, who's the new wife, the king, she murders the children.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I knew how it went down, but I was not prepared.
Nice.
Who thought
Sounds
Greek
good.
tragedies would be so tragic?
Yeah. I don't know. Otherwise, just chugging along. Submitted a paper, so wish me luck.
Which paper did you submit?
I don't
The
know.
paper?
The paper? I don't.
Your thesis?
No, maybe. No, not my thesis. Just like a paper.
Just a regular paper.
Yeah.
Just a regular paper to get published.
Yeah. So We'll see.
Have you ever been sighted, Ryan?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh, wow. My friend's
Okay.
just started a career in science, and he's talking about being sighted. That's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
this is your favorite topic, Ryan, but when is your thesis going to be ready?
Just fuck off.
All right. What did we do last week, everyone?
I'm not used to doing these recaps. Used to having a
A lovely English woman doing
yes,
them for you?
a sultry British voice doing the recap.
I know.
Neal, Nick, can you do the recap in your falsetto?
Yes. Not in falsetto, no. But I'll do it. I'll do it in an English accent. So she's actually from near where I'm from as well, actually. So
Yeah.
that makes sense. So we started the session pretty much with Georg teleporting into Malachi's tower. Post initial introductions, we sort of heard news that there was something massive flying over town. To cut a long story short, running around town and being panicked. Turns out there's a green dragon made its home in the mine. It's less than ideal because that's the same place where Georg told me there's a portal to the Shadow Realm. So that's, almost convenient if you were some sort of god trying to make things difficult. But that's ridiculous, so I can't imagine anyone being there. So yeah, there's a dragon in the mine, and then we pretty much spent the whole time researching the disappearances, and Ryan went and got a book on dragons, so we did some research on the dragon. The dragon sent a note to the town saying that if we don't start giving it gold, it's going to start killing people. We sort of hatched a bit of a plan, which involved placating it with gold for now while we build some siege weapons, and then stop giving it gold once we've got an army set up. Which reminds me, the Count called the landslide on behalf of the barony called the Banners. So there's now an army in Shirebrook of about 150 people, Neal? 150 people, 10 knights, something like that. They're there to fight whatever's is in the Shadow Mountains, but we can use them to fight a green dragon. And right before the end of the show, we were in the tower talking about how we're going to go on a mission tomorrow to head down to the creature's lair and try and capture one of these smoke methods, when we're interrupted by the sound of metal on rock as a cloaked figure crawled through my window, only to turn around and be Tyrus, who immediately reached for his sword when he saw Georg standing next to me. What followed was a tense confrontation, surely to lead to bloodshed, if not for the heroic actions of Malachi.
Heroic actions, he says.
Webbing the room and managing to defuse the situation, and now there seems to be somewhat of a tenuous ceasefire between Georg and Tyrus.
Excellent.
Yes.
Yes, and I think that's where we left off, right? You can cancel the web spell at will, right?
We've kind of said in the past that I can. I don't think we actually know if we can, but that is what we've done. Is that right, Neal?
Cancel the web spell?
Like, can I cancel it? Or does it have to run its duration?
I think it needs to run its duration.
Okay, because we did have a scene with me and Tyrus shaking hands.
Yeah, I think, Neal, it's happened before that I've cancelled it.
Can you?
I don't know.
I don't know. Let's not worry about it.
Okay.
Let's let it be a problem for future us.
Future Neals.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, I don't think you can. At least the spell you can't just cancel.
Yeah.
No.
Most spells can't just be canceled. Suffer with their consequences.
Okay.
So I think we're going to. That day ends.
Well, where does Tyrus sleep? Does he sleep in the tower with us?
No, he's got a house in town.
Yeah, but
he leaves the keep.
Oh, that's right.
Out through the window. He's a wanted man.
I advise him to sleep in the tower.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to sleep in the tower. He doesn't. No, he says he knows a guy. He'll be all right. Don't worry about him. No. Well, if you need to talk to him, stick around. He'll be back sometime tomorrow evening to reconvene.
Tomorrow evening?
No, we're leaving in the morning, Tyrus. Remember?
No, I don't remember. It's been a week.
We're going to capture a smoke method.
Right. Shadow Mountain area, right?
Yeah.
What of the
smoke method?
What of the dragon?
Well, we need time to build the ballista. Oh, you're speaking to him.
Both of you. Is Tyrus briefed as to the dragon?
I was going to brief him tomorrow.
Dragon?
Yeah.
I know you're retired, old man, but you up for slaying a dragon?
Only if it absolutely needs to be done.
Well, it's in the mines outside of town.
Shit. All right. All right.
All right. Well, I've got a bit of a plan, but maybe we can talk out on the road tomorrow.
Okay. Well, I'll meet you on the other side of the river tomorrow.
Wait, Tyrus, do you know where Sturge is?
Yeah.
Can we pick him up on the way?
It'll take a few days. He's hard to reach when he's like this.
Is it on the way to the mountains, or?
I'd rather not say.
Well, it's just if it's out of our way by 2 days, we probably don't have the time.
Then let's not wait for him.
Okay.
I can't, in good faith, reveal my friend's home.
But we could use him if it comes to fighting this dragon.
I'll make arrangements to bring him around. Might take a little while.
All right.
He's
Well, I'll meet you on the other side of the river tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Good.
All right.
All right. He climbs out the window. And I think we just cut to the next day.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I think there's some awkward silences between Georg and Malachi after Tyrus leaves.
Probably.
Yeah.
Some things were said in heat. Let's just, we'll move past it. Well,
I don't think I said anything rude to Malachi, did I? Just
you tried to oust me about Aldrich, but it's fine.
Did I?
Give it
I don't
this
recall. Oh, I think I said something along the lines of I'm the only one amongst us that isn't. Yeah.
That's okay, though. I'll let you off.
Isn't a wanted man. Okay. Okay, next day, I guess?
Yeah, tell me again where you sleep, Georg?
I was expecting Tyrus to stay, in which case I was planning on making a tiny hut in the observatory. Either way, I probably do create a tiny hut.
Okay.
Being the paranoid guy that I am.
That's probably
especially when my deep pockets runs out in the middle of the night, I will be spewing magical items all over the floor. So yeah, I'll create a tiny hut in the corner of the observatory or something. Probably takes up most of the observatory, actually.
Yeah, I think the hut probably actually cuts over the telescope partially. So you have like half a telescope in your observatory, in your
15-foot diameter. Is it a sphere? So does it block the 15-foot diameter sphere? So
it cuts underground, and the top of Malachi's bedroom has a sphere coming into it.
It's probably maybe it's hovering in space. Does it have to be grounded? So I'm in a little egg that's rolling around in the observatory. It's unmoving, so maybe it just floats.
Okay. You are woken, both of you, the next day by a pounding on the door at the base of the tower.
Is it the middle of the night, or is it,
No, it's in the morning, but you guys were up kind of late, so...
All right, well, I think my room's in between the observatory and the door, so I will... Yeah. I'm already awake learning spells, right, so sure. I'll go and answer the door.
There's the guard who you had put on that Cleric of Malchus's door.
Oh, fuck. What are you doing here? I say that. Oh, fuck.
Our guest has been banging on the door for quite some time. I think he's wanted to speak with you. He wrote some gibberish down on some paper, but...
Do you have it?
I didn't know what it said, so I didn't bring it.
All right. Have I finished learning my spells, Neal? Or
No. You probably just woke up, or you were woken up by this pounding. It's early. The sun hasn't yet come up over the horizon.
Well, look, I'm not at the beck and call of this guy. He can wait a couple of hours. I'll be there. Keep guard of him.
Right. The guard leaves. Right. And then you guys can wake up and do your normal morning business.
Georg, I say, shouting up the stairs. When we get to this thing's lair, I'd like some way to maybe, if we've got any ability to spy on it.
I'll come back downstairs. I can I can scry clairvoyance. Can you
Well,
not?
I've tried that a couple of times. It seems to be clouded by some sort of shadows. Either that or it wasn't there at the time, but I've checked a few times and I felt it watching me, so I believe it was there. So I'm trying to think of any other way.
Why don't you ask Rohana? She's the diviner, isn't she?
I'm afraid I've studied Rohana's spellbooks and she doesn't have any answers that we don't.
Yes, figures. Nothing off the top of my head. Nothing in my wheelhouse.
Have you read that book on dragons?
I've skimmed it.
I know that dragons can maybe see through invisibility. And
I don't know that it's so much seeing through invisibility as they have very refined senses. So even if you can't be seen, they'll likely smell you or hear you, taste you with their tongues.
I tend to sneak into places in the form of a very small spider. It's worked out wonderfully for me before.
Yes, I saw you polymorph.
But I don't know. Do you think there's a chance that whatever this is could maybe see through the spell? Know that I was intelligent?
I find that prospect unlikely. Correct me if I'm wrong, but when you polymorph, you assume the shape of a different creature.
Indeed, but my mind is still there if it has some sort of field of ESP.
Dragons have been known to cast spells.
Yeah.
But I don't think they have any sort of sixth sense. No. They may hear you as a spider, and depending on their cleanliness, they shoo you from their home as anyone would.
Maybe I'll see how brave I'm feeling at the time.
Yes.
All right, I'll go back to studying.
Yeah, I have a few spells to memorize as well. Take care of that. What was that I heard being shouted downstairs? Something about a prisoner?
Yes. No, it's nothing for you to worry about.
Oh well. Do we need to see to your count, Baron?
I'll go and deal with that. Why don't you finish getting things ready for the journey?
Did we not want to get started on the ballistas?
Well, you're welcome to go and advise the men who are making them if you wish.
I think it would save some time.
Perfect. Well, why don't you go into town, find where they're making them, advise them, and then maybe pick up some rations.
Have we already put in that order? Or have we already set that up, Neal?
Yeah, I think we did, right? 7.
Did you order 7 ballista?
I think we planned to do it. Did we actually? Who did we?
I don't remember it actually being done, but it could have been done yesterday. That's not an important... When it happens is not an important plot point. So if you guys want to have already set... put in the order for 7 ballistas, that's fine. It's going to take 1,400 gold, is it? 200 gold per ballista?
Yeah.
Oh, no, we were going to reduce the cost by 25 gold for already having plans, so...
Yeah, well, that's what I wasn't... Okay, because Georg has the plans. I haven't met the count or anything yet.
All right, well, we can start with this then. You go and sort that out. Maybe I'll introduce you to Landslide.
Yes.
Did you ever meet the Count of Newfort?
I have not.
Then we'll just call you an advisor.
Sure, I give a knowing smirk. Perhaps I should come in the front door?
I think they've...
I guess I came in yesterday.
Yeah, I think people have seen you. It should be fine. Okay, well, let's go do that then. So we'll go and find Landslide.
Yes.
Okay. You find, linking on his name, Chancellor Landslide, around the breakfast table with the other people.
All right, I step in behind Malachi. Okay, so he sees us right away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Is there a seat for us at this table?
There are a bunch of empty seats with unset places.
Okay.
I
think I quickly stride past Malachi to Landslide.
The dwarf
probably gathering the... Yeah, I don't know if this gathers everyone's attention.
Yeah.
It does a little bit. He looks up from his plate. He's got an unusually broad smile on his face for the day.
This mysterious dark-robed figure with skin of marble.
Oh, Malachi! Good to see you again, he says to Georg.
I take a knee beside him in a respectful bow, looking up, and I say in fluent but probably unpracticed Dwarven. Well met, cousin. I am Lord Georg Grimgeist, Archmage of Misty Rapids.
Confused look crosses his face, and he switches to Dwarven and goes, I'm good. Sorry, my good sir. I thought you were Malachi. You have a similar appearance.
Yes, a wizard's complexion. Malachi has brought me in to consult on the matters of the disappearing villages. You see, I am an expert in such matters.
I'm sorry, what did you say your name was again?
Lord Grimgeist.
Not familiar with Lord Grimgeist. You're not from Shirebrook, are you?
No. Green County? That's the county, right, Neal?
Yes.
Green County. I am Archmage to Lord Song.
Oh, I see.
In any case, I am here to help with the disappearing villages, but it seems you have a dragon problem. I thought that I may lend my efforts in such matters as well.
I was under the impression that Count Song's Archmage had been raised to the status of Baron.
You hear correctly?
Well, it's good that you're a humble man. You're different than what the rumors I had heard were. He switches back to common. Malachi, you're in the room too, right?
Yeah. I've sat down at the table and nodded at one of the servants to make a plate for me and Georg.
They're bringing you some food. He switches back to common so Malachi can understand.
Okay.
So, what am I to do with two expert wizards?
Well, if you don't mind, Georg.
I turn it over to Malachi.
Seems we've got two problems. There's a dragon in the mine, and then there's whatever took our friends. So I intend to make efforts to solve both. Yes?
Don't you think the two are related? I mean, dragons don't just fall out of the sky, you know? Dragon's gonna be showing up and people are disappearing. Occam's razor tells me the two are connected in some way.
I can see how...
deduction. Occam was a very wise dwarven philosopher.
I can see how it may seem that way, Chancellor Landslide. But no, I do not believe them to be related.
I give Landslide a meaningful look.
However, we should make haste to pay the dragon his first installment of gold if we are to delay him long enough whilst we prepare our siege weapons.
Fine.
That is what
Sorry, Georg.
That is what I wish to speak about this morning. You see, I am
Is Count Song willing to pay the gold?
If we may collect the ballistae at the end. In addition, I am a practiced engineer. Perhaps some of my designs could save some time. I rummage through my pockets, pull out a scroll case that there's no way I could have fit, open it, and produce the blueprints for a ballista, for a light ballista.
Nice.
And pass them over.
He looks at them, turns them around a few times. Well, I can't pretend that I would know heads or tails about this, but if
your carpenters, I can make use of them, I assume.
Yes. How long will this take?
Depends how much manpower we can throw at it. If I am, is the army inside the castle or outside?
No, they are outside.
Okay.
As per the age, some people are quartered with families in town. Other people are camped outside of town.
Okay. I saw quite a few men camped outside. Perhaps we could put those soldiers to work.
Yes, their labor's already paid for. It's time that they make use of their hours appropriately. Getting drunk is not good for anyone.
God, I do not have...
Well, if the Count Song and his Grimgeist Baron were to finance the ballistas, I would be more than happy to let you have them afterwards. Seems only fair.
Do you not think that we could use our own ballistas? Maybe we can split them 3 and 4?
Whatever you think.
Well, we can afford to pay for them up front. If Lord Song wants to buy them after we've dealt with the dragon, then we can arrange that. It seems that we're worrying too much about the end game when the big problem's still to be dealt with.
I wholeheartedly agree with you for the first time in our lives. Let's kill the dragon and work out the details afterwards.
Right, but...
Yes.
Go on.
This sounds agreeable.
Excellent.
Well, we still must placate the dragon for long enough for us to finish them. I suspect they'll take about a week. Georg, would you agree?
Ballistae?
Yeah.
I shrug. There's not rules for such things.
Well...
They take how long they take.
My plan is to pay the dragon daily. And then when we are ready to spring our trap, we just don't pay him. So we should pay him at the same time every day at the height of noon, when it's most convenient to launch or to fire a ballista. I imagine noon is the best time.
So you've been reading Pavlov's papers again.
Well, I read a great many things. How much do you think we need to pay this dragon to placate him?
I believe we spoke about 50 gold last week? Yesterday?
Yeah, but I've been thinking on it, and it seems a tad disingenuous, maybe. A little bit too low. Maybe 150 is more suitable.
If you feel confident that we can slay this creature and reclaim the payments, then I guess they don't really matter at all.
Well, we have no choice but to slay it.
Fair. Alright. He looks around the table. You are free to use the assets of the treasury for the purposes of buying ballistas and paying off dragons at 150 gold a day for dragons and whatever the ballista cost may be. I am certain our Baron here wouldn't lie about those costs, and we'll have the army oversee their development, so that should work itself out.
Well then, Georg, would you care to start work immediately?
Sure. Perhaps an officer should attend to the orders. I wouldn't wish to be ordering your troops around.
Quite right, quite right. He looks over, points at someone down the table who looks like a knight of some kind, and says, "You there! When you're done with your meal, follow this alabaster man and see it done."
So I stand up at this and bow and say, "If you'd excuse me, my lords, I have some things to deal with." I leave and go and see the Malchus cleric.
As you're walking out, you can overhear Angus Landslide saying, "Baron Grimgeist, you're a good influence on this Malachi. He's much more respectful now that you're around."
Yeah, I don't think Georg... It sounds like Georg doesn't go with Malachi. I think I sit down, have breakfast with the dwarves. Yeah. And I do actually, would like to talk blacksmithing with them if I can steer the conversation that direction, or weaponsmithing. See if they, I'll just casually mention that I have interest in metalworking, and see if I can see if they have any renowned weaponsmiths, or if there are any around. Dwarven small talk.
All right. Let me think on the answers to those questions.
Yeah,
You can do your dwarven small talk.
Yeah, and then after breakfast, I'll head with whatever officer out to the camps to get them working.
Sure. Meanwhile, Malachi,
Yes.
what do you do?
Well, I go to the door where the clerics hold up.
The same guard is on duty. He stands up straight, and as you approach,
At ease. What? Is he still banging on the door? I don't hear him.
No, I told him that you were coming eventually, and he's shut up.
All right. Well, thank you.
Should I go in with you?
No, I'll be fine.
All right. He opens the door for you.
Thank you.
Shuts it behind you and stands outside. The tongueless man is pacing back and forth in this room.
Good morning, Croak. Take a seat.
He comes over with a piece of paper and puts it in your hands before taking a seat.
All right, I'll read it.
It says, "He has spoken to me."
He meaning Malchus. So what did he say? I hand him the piece of paper back.
He turns it over and just hands it back to you. There's more writing on the other side. It says, "He has a desire for you."
Ooh. Ooh. Well, okay, that's all it says.
Yes.
All right.
And he gets a kind of a wry grin on his face.
So I guess I say to him, so what does Malchus wish of me?
He takes another piece of paper and starts to scrawl. Puts it down in front of you, and it says, "Smoke Mephit, Displacer Beast."
I give him a knowing look.
And then
What's this?
Takes the paper back, scrawls a little bit more, and he says, he would like you to capture them.
That's awfully coincidental, my friend. Because I was just heading out to capture a smoke Mephit right about now.
He smiles again, scribbles on another piece of paper and hands it over to you. The other piece of paper says, "The gods have their ways."
What does this have to do with anything?
Gives a bit of a shrug. Scrawls on a piece of paper saying, "I only know what I know."
How did you speak with Malchus? His constellation's missing from the sky.
He just looks at you.
Very well. Thank you, Croak. Any advice on what I should do with these things when I've got them? Or does Malchus just want me to keep them locked in a cage? That'd make an awful strange baby. I guess I'll come and find you when the time is right. Thank you. Enjoy your chair.
He gives a kind of a cackling, awkward laugh as you leave. The laugh that someone makes when they don't have a tongue and they've been locked in an underground prison in blackness for weeks or months at a time.
So I come out and say,
"Something a madman does."
Go up to the guard, raise my eyebrows. Whew. He's a character, that one. All right. Well, keep an eye on him. Good job. If he has any more messages for me, you can find me again.
Doesn't need to be reminded of his place, does he? The guard says, cracking his knuckles.
Well, we already cut his tongue out. I think he's fine for now. However, if you're the one who's had to listen to him cackling this whole time, if there does come need to kill him or remind him of his position, then I'll give you the honors. Right. I walk and I'll go to the yard where the soldiers are gathered to find Georg.
Okay.
I think we're probably outside of the keep, right? Isn't there like a small camp?
Yeah,
on the outskirts of town?
Yes, there is, and you guys can all meet up there together.
Okay, I've handed the plans over to. Was there any like engineer or carpenter amongst the?
Many of the soldiers Well, all the soldiers are conscripted, so they have normal, typical jobs. Some of them
so they can be used as laborers. Okay.
Right, some of them have woodworking in their past. None of them are expert carpenters, but there are plenty of people who make their own furniture. There's a couple of lumberjacks,
Okay. So I assume the dwarf will go out and gather the men, command them to construct ballistas or whatever, and say this here is whatever.
Right,
Lord,
and they will...
Your dark overlord, and he'll tell you what to do next.
Yeah, and they will hire a few expert carpenters from town, from Shirebrook itself, to do the things that need expert carpenters, and the rest of these people can just be general laborers.
In that case, I'd probably like to wait and see the expert carpenters. I assume they're who I'll need to give instructions to.
Sure. They'll send for these carpenters after you guys have a conversation. A few hours later, the carpenters show up.
So there may be some delay getting out of town.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you guys probably won't get out of town until noon.
I'll hand the plans over to whoever seems like the most adept carpenter. Give them whatever instructions need to be given.
It's a person who never takes their eyes off of you.
A man?
Who seems very wary. Do
I recognize this person?
It is a man. You don't recognize this person, but they are on the edge of their seat around you the whole time.
Sure. I'm kind of used to this. Whatever. Do they take the plans from me, or they've been laid out on like a table or something?
Yeah, I think there's probably a table in a tent where all these things are being done.
Okay. So I'll be like, here are my plans. I assume you can follow them?
He says, having not even looked at the plans yet, keeping eye contact on you.
Okay. I may be away for a few days. I'll trust you to keep things moving along. I obviously defer to your judgment in such practical matters, but I would suggest, starting with the frames for all of the ballistas, going up from there, and I don't know. I give more detail. Do I get the impression he's actually listening?
Yes, he's definitely listening. But I think you get it.
He's terrible. He's probably heard rumors and knows who I am. I do have an ESP, but I think I'll save that. All right. As I leave, I'll say to the dwarf who had come to give the orders, or is there one of Landslide's men around the camp?
I guess all of these people are Landslide's men. You can leave orders with the...
So if there's a soldier, I'll just make sure to see that it gets done and that they stay on task.
Right.
In Dwarven.
Right. So the people here there's 22 villages, and these are the people from the villages and the knights from those villages. So there's 1 to 2 knights from each village, and then about 8 people from each village as well. So it's a whole bunch of separate camps that are all put together and loosely affiliated with one of the higher-ranking people from Shirebrook overseeing everything. So you can leave instructions with that person.
Where
is
the camp located?
Down. There are some people... it's not one big camp. There is a camp north of town, and then there's a bunch of soldiers and knights who have been quartered inside town.
Okay, so north of town, the mines are to the west, so it's unlikely, hopefully, that the dragon will be around here if it sticks to its cave.
Right, they're pretty far, as far from the dragon as you can get in town.
Okay.
They're still only a mile, maybe mile and a half at most from it.
Yeah. So part of my suggestion was starting with the frames was to make it look nondescript, at least for the first couple of days, as in they could be building anything. We'll save the making ballista missiles for the end, or maybe be more secretive about that. How does Malachi feel about Georg speaking Dwarven and having to wait for all these arrangements before we leave?
Well, certainly couldn't say anything in front of Landslide. But it's maybe impacted my respect of you just a tad. But you can't be right about everything. So I guess maybe I walk back to I walk back through the keep and out into the yard to find Georg talking to this engineer.
Yeah, I think it sounds like we're in a camp north of town.
Yeah.
All right. So I go there. After you finish talking, I say, "Is everything in order?"
You probably come out there and it's we're gonna have to wait for the carpenters to show up, could be an hour or so. Winds up being like 3 hours.
Yeah, it's a longer process than any of you would have liked, but things move slowly in the day before cell phones.
So if you have any errands you need to run or anything, I don't tell you that, but I think you've got a couple of hours.
What do I need to do?
Or we can just skip to noon.
Yeah, I don't think I've got anything super. Cool. The woman hasn't come back, has she, with the kennels?
She has not come back by noon today.
Okay. So that's the only thing I'm waiting on. If I come across Gary, I'll ask him how things are going, but other than that...
Yeah, he's keeping a low profile right now, trying to not be affiliated with you, so he hasn't shown up. And you don't know where he is in town.
I'll ask Georg about Displacer Beasts, actually. Do you know anything about Displacer Beasts, Georg?
Why, what have you heard?
Oh, nothing. Why?
I don't know. Thought it was a nickname of mine. Yes, I know a great deal of Displacer Beasts.
Would you know where to find one? Where they live?
I do, in fact. I rummage through a pocket and pull out a small bit of hide and show it to Malachi.
This is Displacer Beast?
I nod.
Is it a spell component?
Yes, that's why I was wondering what you had heard. Fascinating creatures, really. Innately able to shift in and out of this plane. Truly majestic.
There is an awful lot of coincidences going on right now.
In any case, they're around, but quite elusive. Some around the Soggy Hills, north of Misty Rapids. Have I seen one myself? Maybe I have. I didn't bring this one down myself, but my ranger was able to track this one down.
Make an interesting pet, wouldn't you think? I wouldn't mind bringing one back to Skybrook.
I give him a bit of a glare. Yes, I'd love to have a Displacer Beast. But as I said, they're elusive creatures.
Well,
took me a while to track this one down. He was dead.
Yeah. Well, perhaps we should focus at the task at hand. Speaking of which, I need to go and see a man about a dog crate. I'll walk off back to the keep.
A dog crate?
Yeah, to capture the smoke method.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is fun. I feel like, I think Georg was also independently imagining capturing one of these methods. Of curiosity.
Everyone wants to capture a method.
Yeah. I guess not a method. I'm really interested in getting an imp familiar. But I guess methods aren't quite imps.
Well, I've actually got have you got the Find Familiar spell?
I don't. I think I had access to Aldrich Spellbook at one point, but
yeah, Aldrich does
at that point I was like level 2 or 3 and did not have 1,000 gold to burn on a familiar.
Well, let's talk on Find Familiar. See, because I've got, well, I guess I've got access to not to Aldrich Spellbook, but spell Find Familiar.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know much of it though? It's a very risky spell.
It is, yes. I think it can be dangerous if the familiar dies.
More than dangerous.
Lethal.
Lethal, yeah. If it was an imp, though, see, it's a lot of risk to take for a raven.
Be careful what you speak. There are ears everywhere. Taming an imp is no good act. In fact, I think even only the most dark-hearted can even rule over such creatures.
Alas, I must have misread. I didn't realize that.
Yes.
Must we wait for these carpenters, Georg? Can't you have your dwarven friend here deal with it?
I'd like to make sure they get off on the right foot. Could save us some days down the line if I can get them working in a more efficient
if you insist.
order.
I'll go and...
So I think you go, you get yourself a crate.
Yeah. And I want to find out who Landslide's going to have drop the gold off at the dragon.
That's going to be you.
Alright, okay. You sure?
Yeah.
Maybe I can go and do that. Maybe I'll go and do that now then.
Every day, huh? What if we missed? We'll probably miss tomorrow if we're up
Yeah,
in
I'm not going to be here tomorrow. Someone's got to do it. I'll tell you what. I'll pick a knight. And when he's too scared to do it, I'll do it the first day to show him that it's alright. So I'll go and find a knight in the keep now. Bring him with me.
Okay. Why don't we take a break here, and when we come back, we will do the dragon treasure delivery.
Well, you know, it's going to be a very quick thing. Can't we just do it now?
Well, I mean, what if it's not a quick thing?
I just...
I don't have an extra
See you
long
guys on
session.
the other side of our break. Bye-bye.